We are back with another Super Mario Bros. Wonder myth-busting video, and we are going to see which claims are true and false. For example, can you burrow underneath flagpoles? Can a shova dive from a bubble? And can a mama eat a wonder flower? Well, let's find out! Number 15. One thing that I like about this 2D title is the amount of new types of levels they added. For example, the KO arenas and Wiggler races. However, I wondered if you could actually slow Wiggler down during these races using any of the power-ups seen in the game. Or is he just invincible and doesn't care no matter what you do? Well, I decided to test it out. I went into one of the race levels without power-ups to try and hinder Wiggler, and I used all of them. But all I noticed is that he doesn't really care no matter what I do. Bubbles? Who cares? Ground pound? Yawn. So yeah, as far as I can see, Wiggler can't be slowed down. He will keep going and nothing is going to stop him. Number 14. Now, water levels are seen in basically every Super Mario game, and of course also in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And I quite enjoyed these due to the new Dolphin badge that makes you a lot faster and more agile underwater. But when I was playing through these levels, I was wondering, can Mario drown in the game? For example, in Super Mario Odyssey, if you stay underwater for too long, you will actually die. And in some other games, Mario doesn't care at all. So what happens in Wonder? Well, I tested this by leaving Mario underwater for a good amount of time, around 3 minutes. But nothing really happened. Mario didn't drown, so it seems like this isn't the thing at all. Which doesn't make sense, but hey, it's a Mario game. A lot of things don't make sense. Number 13. When you first boot up the game and go through the introduction level, you will see that Nintendo spent a lot of time on the animations. I mean, the sleeping Goombas you see are a good example of that. We never saw anything like it in the new Super Mario Bros. Titles. Well, as far as I know. But when I saw them, I thought to myself, what does it take to wake them up? Sure, if you bump into them, they wake up, but is that the only way? Well, I did some testing. First, I ran around them for a bit to see if they would wake up, but no. So then, I just ground pounded right in front of them, and I expected that to work. But again, they didn't wake up. So I tried one last thing. I sprayed water on them using the elephant power-up, and this worked. It was a rude awakening after all. And so clearly, it's hard to wake these Goombas up, and the only thing that does the trick is something physical, like bumping into them, popping their little bubble, or giving them a sudden cold shower. Really, they are deep sleepers. Number 12. One fun new concept seen in this game is the ability to push pipes, which can unlock new routes in levels. And sometimes you also have to fight certain enemies who will try to stop you from pushing them into place. But I wondered if shells seen in levels like Swamp Pipe Crawl could push the shells as well. So I gave it a shot, and I could see that the smaller shells didn't really do anything, which makes sense in my opinion. When you're small without any type of power-up, you also can't win a pipe-pushing battle with a shova. But when you throw one of these giant shells, it will actually push the pipe away for a good bit, just like Elephant Mario could. So it's cool that this is possible, but in the end, it's quite useless in the grand scheme. Number 11. When I was reading comments under different Super Mario Bros. Wonder videos to find new myths, I came across a claim that was quite interesting. And don't worry, I also took some myths from the comment section of the first myth-busting video, so some of you lovelies will be featured. But anyway, I saw someone claim that in the level Sproings in the Twilight Forest, the wonder effect of the stage, which is the stretching thing, is based on who crouches first. So if player 1 crouched first and then player 2 crouched, and player 2 stopped crouching, then the surroundings would follow player 1's crouch status. But is this in the game? Well, I decided to try this out by setting up 2 controllers myself, and as far as I could see, this statement is true. In the end, the wonder effect in this game is quite simple. The first one that ducks has all the control. Only if that player gets up will the level change again. It doesn't matter if it's player 1 or 2, and who actually picked up the wonder flower. So this claim is true. Number 10. Now this next claim is small, but still a fun one to look at, and it's all about animations, which Nintendo expanded upon a lot in this game. Because I saw someone claim that you will get a special animation when you pick up a power-up while riding a Yoshi. And so I once again booted up the game, connected 2 controllers, and went into a KO arena. Now when I picked up a power-up, I did see a little animation involving Yoshi, which I had never seen before. So this claim is true, although it's certainly not the biggest discovery in the game, to say the least. Number 9. One thing Nintendo clearly focused on with this game was making it fresh compared to all the 2D titles that came before. For example, by adding new concepts like the wonder effects, a lot more animations, and also new secrets. And I want to talk about one little thing I found on accident, which I first thought was an absolute myth. Did you know that there's actually a secret level in Super Mario Bros. Wonder that you unlock by dying? I know it sounds weird, but it's actually true, and I found out about this during my first playthrough of the game. When I was playing through some of the first levels, I actually ended up dying, and I had no lives left. So I got a game over. But when I got kicked out of the level, I saw that a new level was unlocked, known as Coins Galore. And when I entered it, I saw it's one big party where you get loads of normal and flower coins, and meanwhile a bunch of flowers will cheer you on. So yeah, it's not crucial for finishing the game, but it's cool to see that they added this little secret for the people who felt bad after getting a game over. Number 8. The badge system in the new Super Mario title is amazing, and I really hope they will actually add it to future titles. But as you can imagine, people wondered what you can do with these perks. What are the limits? Well, one thing I wanted to test is whether the Dolphin Kick badge actually works when you're swimming through lava, which is a wonder effect seen in some levels. So I decided to give it a shot, and when I jumped into the lava and used the badge, I could see that it actually works. Without breaking a sweat, I could easily swim through the lava like it was normal water. So it works the exact same regardless of what you're swimming through. And I think that's really cool. I'm glad that Nintendo thought of this. Number 7. When I first saw the new enemies in the game, I was stoked. I always love it when Nintendo comes up with new creative stuff. And after playing through the game, I wasn't disappointed. A lot of them are actually really cool, and one I especially like is the Shova. But they are quite tough. It takes multiple fireballs to kill them, and you even have to jump on them more than once. But then I wondered, would the bubble flower work any better? Because normally this power-up kills basically any enemy instantly. So I tried it to see if it would have any effect at all. And to my surprise, the Shova doesn't take damage and doesn't even react. For some reason, the bubble flower can't do anything to this enemy, which is a bit disappointing, but I guess that a power-up as strong as this one needs some sort of weak point. Number 6. When the game came out, I was surprised to see that the drill mushroom made an appearance in the game. I mean, we saw an item that was similar known as the spin drill in Super Mario Galaxy 2, which was a 3D game. But now it's in a 2D title, and I love it. Nintendo did some really interesting things with it, like burrowing into the ceiling, which I never expected. But when I did stuff like this, I thought to myself, can I also burrow underwater with this thing? I mean, we already saw that Mario can stay underwater forever without a problem. So I tried it, and the KO arena known as Pedal Metal is perfect for this, because in the first arena you have changing water levels. But when I attempted to burrow, I could see that it doesn't work underwater. And even when I did it when the water had receded, I was forced to surface as soon as the water rose. So no matter what, this just doesn't work, which is a bit disappointing. Number 5. When I was browsing the comments of one of my recent myth-busting videos, I saw a comment that was quite interesting. Ben the Cat said, "Can Elephant Mario ride a Yoshi that's riding a Yoshi that's riding a Yoshi?" Now when I read this, I thought to myself, Yoshiception! And I also wasn't sure if this was possible at all. Sure, normal characters can ride on Yoshi, but can a Yoshi even ride another Yoshi? And is there a limit? Well, I had no clue, so I tried it. it. And yeah, a Yoshi can ride on a Yoshi, which looks a bit odd, but that's where it kind of ends. You can have a Yoshi on a Yoshi, but not a Yoshi on a Yoshi on a Yoshi. That doesn't work. And even when you try to jump on a Yoshi as a Yoshi with someone on your back, it doesn't work either. So yeah, sorry Ben, this claim is false. Number 4. In the first myth-busting video, I looked at the mechanics of pipe pushing to see if a small character could win, but after I looked into this, Stefan asked me if there's a power-up that can push the exact same strength as the shova. So basically a level of power where there's a standstill between you and the shova, and so no one can win. And I had no idea if this was a thing, so I got a bunch of power-ups to do some rigorous testing, but I noticed something. If you're big or have a power-up, then you will always win the fight. You're just stronger than the shova, but when you're small, you will lose. So there isn't some in-between where it's a stalemate. So sadly enough, Stefan, what you asked me can't really happen in the game. Number 3. I love the fact that the game is filled with little details, and I saw someone claim something interesting in the comments. Metro Blaster said, for the parachute cap, Peach and Daisy will actually hold the items or shells on top of their dress because it's more ladylike. So I decided to check this out. And yeah, as you can see right here, this claim is true. And personally, I had never noticed this. Number 2. Alright, can the mama, this weird creature, eat the wonder flowers seen in Super Mario Bros. Wonder? That's what X Game and Things asked me, and I get why. Normally, these enemies eat basically anything in sight, like Goombas and Koopa Troopa shells. So I decided to try this, even though I wasn't sure if I could pull this off. And so I went into the mama mouthful level to give it a shot. Now, when I found the wonder flower, I tried to lure a mama towards it, but no matter what I did, they didn't seem to follow me beyond a certain point. Each time they would reset, no matter what I did, it just wouldn't work. It seemed like the mama would never reach the wonder flower. But then, I found a loophole. Apparently, if you jump on a mama, it will reset. And using this, I could basically lure it anywhere I want to. And so I was able to get it all the way to the wonder flower. But then I saw that the mama can't interact with it at all. So nothing really happened. And I tried this multiple times. So yeah, X Game and Things, this isn't possible, but it was still an interesting problem to solve, I guess. Number 1. The flagpoles are seen in basically all the levels in Super Mario Wonder, but can you burrow underneath them using the drill mushroom? Well, this is what Tom Draco asked me in the comments of one of my myth-busting videos. And so I got myself some drill mushrooms and experimented a bit. Here you can see I burrowed underground as Drill Peach, and I couldn't go underneath or past the flagpole. Again and again I did this, but clearly this wasn't gonna work, and Nintendo had thought of this. There must be some sort of invisible wall that stops you from getting past it unless you actually touch the flagpole, which triggers the whole end of level animation. Because when I tried going over it, I saw that that didn't work either. So clearly Nintendo is stopping us on purpose. And I mean, I get it. I bet it would break the game in a way. That's why you can never do it in any of the 2D Super Mario titles. Now those were all the myths I wanted to cover, but be sure to leave your suggestions below as well, and you might be featured in a video. And don't forget, subscribe and leave a like. It really helps, and more content is coming soon.